Hi friends, my name is Resh Veen Rajendran and I'm the founder and chief visionary officer of Team Resh. And today I'm going to be speaking to you about the pros and the cons of investing in real estate. Are you ready? Alright, so today I'm going to talk to you about the pros of investing in real estate. Alright, so number one, real estate is a proven investment vehicle that we all need to have. You see, at the end of the day, we all need a shelter to live under. This is first and foremost. Look guys, we need water, we need shelter, right? And shelter comes from real estate. And at the end of the day, if you get a good real estate in a good location, prices are only just going to go up. That's just how it is. It's always going to be a need. I don't care whether you're living in 2020 or whether you're going to be watching this video in 2050, right? Guess what? You'll always need a house. Right? You need a shelter to live under. All right. So this is a basic necessity, and it's an investment vehicle that is, considering that if you buy in a good location, something that will always increase in value. I don't care where you are in the world. It works. That's pro number one. Number two, the next pro behind investing in real estate, very, very simply, is this, right? Every millionaire, every billionaire owns a real estate. You own multiple real estates all over the world. And it's something that you really, really, truly want to consider, right? And in real estate, the beautiful thing is, you can also diversify across sectors. There's so many different kinds of real estate, right? So for example, I own commercial property. My very first property that I bought was when I was 22 years old, and I bought a commercial property in Manchester. Alright, I bought a commercial property in Manchester. I also own my own residential property. A residential property is where I live and where I actually stay. Right? I also have industrial property, for example, which I actually rent out to tenants. So there are many, many different kinds of properties for many different users. Alright? And this is a way in which you are achieving diversification in your real estate portfolio. Right? So this is something that you can actually seriously consider. And guess what? Alright? This leads me to point number three, which is the pros of basically investing in different asset classes is that many of them come at different costs as well. Alright, so typically if you would like to buy a commercial or industrial, depending on the land area, the land size, you can get it at good discounted prices as well. Right, you can get it at good affordable prices. See, this is a myth with regards to real estate. One of the biggest myths with regard to real estate is that, I need a lot of money. I need, $500,000. I need $1 million. Is that true? Not necessarily. Right, not necessarily at all. Right? In fact, of course, it's not as cheap as a stock, for example. You can't possibly go and buy a real estate with $300, right? Well, we'll talk about that in the next video. How can you buy it with no money? Alright? But typically, if you want to use your own money and actually put down some cash for the property, you're looking anywhere between, see, my first property, the amount of money I had to put down was about $40,000. Alright? And that's what I actually put down to get my first property. Right, so that was actually possible for me to do. Right? And can you do the same? Absolutely. There are many, many deals out there where you can start with a reasonable amount of money, right? For a hard asset which you can touch and feel. Alright, so if you're an investor who appreciates something solid, something you can touch, feel, and say, hey, this is mine, then property investing would be fantastic. It's something that you own, it's something that you can tangibly feel, and it's a place where you live. Alright, and this is what I love about the real estate market. This is why I love property investing. Alright, so that's number one. But right now I'm going to talk to you about the cons of property investing. Are you ready? These are the cons of property investing. Number one, leverage can be dangerous. In investing in property, leverage is almost a must. Right? Leverage is almost a must. Right? Typically, people take on loans. Right? In Singapore, where I live, people take on 20, 30, year loans to actually pay off their property. What happens is they get a job, they get a property, and they have a debt for the rest of their lives. It's not exactly fun. to be paying off debts for the rest of your life, to be paying off something again and again and again and again, which puts people in shackles. This is the reason why you've got to be able to manage your cash flow well. Right? You've got to understand cash flow. You've got to make sure you're able to actually afford a property. You know, the unfortunate thing is some people over leverage and they get into situations where they're not able to afford where they live. Right? And this becomes a serious problem because their house then becomes their biggest liability. It's a dangerous place to be in. Don't get stuck. Alright? Number 2, the next con behind property investing, very simply, is the illiquidity. Right? The transaction time of buying and selling a property can take a long time. Right? See, I have this neighbor who's been trying to sell a property for over 18 months without being able to actually sell the property. Alright, 18 months, my friends. It's a long time. Imagine if you really need the cash and it takes so long to liquidate your asset to be able to convert to cash. Then that can be really painful and destructive for some. Right? So imagine if you get a property which you're not able to sell. Right? If let's say, for example, you make a mistake and you're not able to sell out, right? You can be stuck for a very long time. And that is not a good situation and not a fun place to be in. Alright? So again, this is one of the cons of investing in property. If you make a mistake, man, it's going to cost you quite a bit of money. Right? If you got to do your due diligence. Right? It's not fun when you cannot sell $1 million property and you've got to wait 18 months. It's not fun at all. I have many friends who have fallen into this trap. Right? So you've got to do your homework. So that is con number 2. And number 3, the third con, very simply, is this: investing in overseas properties can be very tempting, it can be very enticing, it can be very cool. One of my big goals was to own properties all over the world, and today I own properties all over the world. All over the world. However, they can be very dangerous as well. You know, you can't really see what's going on. You can travel one time, for example, but you know, as a foreigner, there's a lot of different levies and taxes and hidden things that you might not even know of. This is the one thing that kind of pisses me off about investing in overseas properties, or maybe properties in general. There are a lot of costs involved. Costs that come up out of nowhere. Property taxes, stamp duty, you know, electricity costs, you know, your something breaking down. There can be all these miscellaneous costs which suddenly pop up, which can wipe out your rental. This is something that you must be prepared for in property investing, right? There will always be some cost that actually just comes up, and it can be a little bit annoying after a while, right? Even more so in investing in overseas properties, right? And that is all these hidden costs. Every real estate investor will know what I'm talking about. So my friends, I want to give you an unbiased, complete point of view of the pros and the cons of investing in real estate, and most importantly, you got to understand and know yourself to actually know which investment vehicle would be best suited for you. Join me in my next series. I actually share what would be the pros and the cons of investing in my next financial instrument, right? So make sure you tune in, make sure you plug in and listen, my friends. I love you, and catch you in my next video.